Izini yemingu Rita Foingwe, Benedicte Foingwe. The information I'm about to teach you about today, basically, my dad taught me about it, and he basically did a translation of a video that the president of Afrocom USA had sent into the group chat for, everybody to understand what the days of the weeks are in the dialect. And today I will be presenting it to you in translated form in English so that you who might not understand the dialect as well as others, or as well as, could have an idea of what was going on in the video, and essentially could learn a thing or two about the days of the week in the Com language. The 8 days of the week in the Com language, or in the Com dialect, Michinowe, if you were to say it in Com, are Itu Akam, Itu Abon, Itu Kitchen, Itu Ishvinakam, Itu Ishvisamna, Itu Insvenakam, Itu O, and Itu Abola. And these days all have their origin stories and what they mean and their backgrounds behind them. And that is what we're going to be going into today. Now, the first 3 days, Itu Okam, Itu Abum, and Itu Kijem, all originate from one story. And another day, which is much further, I think 2 other days, like at the end of the days of the week, but we will get to that when we get there. But, so, long time ago, the Com Fondom and 2 neighboring kingdoms were having a quarrel, or like a little war, if you will. And the Com king decided to call them and ask them to come so they could sit down and discuss their problems and discuss their difficulties. And the pattern that the days follow, the naming of the days follow, is basically that the day that a fawn of a specific village got to speak, the day was named after that village. And the first day, Itu Akam, is basically named after the Com fawn, who was the first one to speak, because he was the one who invited everyone to his village, to his kingdom to speak. So he got to speak on the matter and explain the issues, they got to discuss the issues, the difficulties, and how they felt they could better resolve the situation. And the next day was the Boom Kingdom, and their fawn was given the chance to speak, and their fawn was basically gonna speak on their side of the story, how their views are on the story, and how they think they could resolve. Basically just giving out ideas on how they should have better resolved their issue. And the third day, Itu Kijem, was the day when the Kijem fawn got a chance to speak, and they got to basically give their ideas, share their difficulties, and give ideas on how they better needed to resolve them. The next couple days actually had to do with the migration of the Com people, which is Itu Ishvanakam and Itu Ishvasamna. So while the Com people were migrating, they settled down around the Bamisi people, and they were settling down, everything was going good. Their population was growing bigger and bigger every day, and this scared the Bamisi people, feeling that they could easily get overthrown by the Com people. So they, feeling scared, and the Com fawn decides to make a deal with them that they could both get rid of their young men so that there is no threat to, either or village. So they made the deal to build huts. They had their young men go into the huts, and they were planning on burning it down. But the Bamisi people built a secret route under the hut that their young men could escape, while the Com people, not having an idea about this, burnt down their hut, burning down their young men, which is where Itu Ishvanakam comes from. And after this whole fiasco, the Com people are scared because, not scared and betrayed. So they basically run away from the whole thing. And as they are running, they decided to stop at this little village called Tungong, and that is where they saw a python. And basically, the fawn and them followed that python that led them all the way to Layakom, which is where they settled down. And this day is represented, basically the name Itu Israsamna, which basically means run, like they run. Well, Samna means run at least. And now, later on after they settled down, they've always basically had to travel, quite literally travel, but they've always had to go all the way over to Jinicom to shop, because that was where the market was, that was where they could buy and sell stuff. And that is where the name Itu Nzvenokom comes from, because they always had to go over, all the way over to Jinicom in order to, you know, shop and buy things and sell things maybe. And now, Itu Atuo is basically, you know, after the whole discussions and all the kings, all the Vondoms have reconciled, they all, you know, sit down and they're discussing and they're sharing with each other, you know, the herbs and the medicines they use to cure certain viruses or ailments that this Vondom might have but not have the cure to, and this Vondom might have this but not have the cure to it. You know, they're exchanging information on these medicines and herbs, and that day is basically called Itu Atuo. And then the last day, which is basically the day that, you know, everything's been reconciled, everything's done for, and they all are tired, you know? Everyone's tired and everyone needs to take a rest. Which is, yeah, the three Vondoms and kingdoms all take a rest on this day. And that is the 8 days of the week in the Khum community, or in the Khum history, if you will. And yeah, thank you for listening to me. And that was a lot. Last but not least, I would definitely want to recommend that everyone get themselves a Khum calendar, because keeping the information I just shared to you is not going to be as easy as you think it might be, and you might need some help. And that calendar is essentially going to have everything in it. You know, it has the days of the week, has the months of the year, and yeah, you're going to need it, you know, especially as someone who's from Khum. Like, if you're from Khum, why don't you have a Khum calendar? Like, you should really ask yourself that question if we're being for real right now. But get yourself one. It's definitely very useful. It'd be smart to get one, and you know, you have something that reminds you of Khum or where you come from, and something else that tells you how to say the days in the week in Khum and the months of the year in Khum. I think it's a win-win. I definitely recommend you getting it. Other than that, I hope you have a great day or night or whatever time it is that you're in at the moment. Peace.